Alcoholics Barbecue World. Today we're doing brisket, doing the part one, which is trimming. So there'll be different parts. Part two will be seasoning, and then part three will be to cook. So come along with us, and let's trim up this big old brisket. Well, it's not a big brisket; it's a small brisket. It's a little over 10 pounds. Okay, we're gonna take our brisket here. We're gonna hold our bag straight up. Gonna hold our bag straight up here, open it, and take it out, just like that. And the reason is, all your nasty blood and all is down at the bottom. See right there? It'll stay in your bag. It won't be on your table. I got a bowl here. I'm gonna put all my nasty stuff in. All right, we're gonna look this thing over, see what we got here. See this corner right here? It's very, very thin. So we're gonna trim this off to get a little thicker in there, because that'll burn before the rest of it's done. So I think that point part is, this here will be way burnt before that's done. Alright, this is a big old hunk of white fat here. We're going to work on that. That's got to come off. That's hard. There's no way that'll cook down. Also, see this stuff right here? All that nasty looking stuff? That's where the butcher cut and it got nasty from sitting. So that's all fat. We're going to cut that right off. We don't want that nasty stuff. See this little thing hanging up? Cut it off too. You want everything nice and flat. Don't want nothing sticking up the burn. Alright, we got some more fat right here. All that white stuff here has got to go. That will not render down. And I'm sure you don't want to be biting into that when you're eating your brisket. That's the bad thing about buying a brisket. You spend all that money, then you gotta sit here and you shave a bunch of it off. Like I said, this is probably this is a 10 and a little over 10. I think a 10.24 pound brisket. And when we're done, it'll probably be 8-pound brisket. But you just can't eat the stuff. So that nasty, thin, fat stuff there, that ugly looking stuff, trim that right off too. If if it looks nasty, it'll taste nasty. So make sure you get all that off. Working on this white fat here still. You're not going to get it all off, but you're going to want to try to get all of it off you can without digging big old holes in your brisket. Alright, this is the fat cap side. You want to leave some of this fat. You want to leave about a 1/4 inch thick, but no thicker than that. So this whole outside edge here, it got a lot of fat on it. This is a Walmart brisket. It's not the best one in the world, but it was the cheapest one. Right now, they're not very cheap. I spent $45 for this thing to sit here and trim a bunch of it off. I didn't feel like doing a $60 or $100 one. So what we deal with it. We make it eatable. Alright, see how we're trimming the top off? Now, everybody on YouTube talks about aerodynamic. You want your brisket aerodynamic. So, you want to try to get everything even as you can get it. I guess why they say that is because the flow of the smoke, you want it to flow across. Yeah, I'll keep flipping this thing over and over and over, looking at it different ways. All right, right here where your flat meets your point, there's always a big old chunk of fat inside of that, and that's what I'm after right here. So that big old chunk right there. Now you can cut the flat off the point and cook it the flat and the point, or you can leave it all whole here. What I'm gonna do is open up this flap here, get all this fat out that I can, and I'm gonna leave it connected and cook it all as one piece. I'm gonna dig all the stuff out I can. Now, when you're buying your brisket, you can, if money's not a thing, you can pick through them and find one that's not so bad. But like I said, this is the cheapest one, so this is the one I'm dealing with. Or you can go buy you one of them $100 and something one, a Wagyu one, when you got a lot of marbling in it. The more marbling you got, the better it is. And that's the fat that's mixed in with your meat, the good fat. But there's all this hunk stuff here. This ain't good. It's not. It won't cook down. Now, you see me doing a lot of trimming here. I'm used to doing competitions, so I may trim this down more than what you would do for a home cook. But I'm so used to just trimming it for comps to make it look good. So I may cut more off than what you would cut off. So keep that in mind too as you watch me trim this and you trim yours. I'm trimming more for a competition. That's just what I'm used to. I used to have to cook these in the comps. We cook brisket, ribs, chicken, and pork butts for a comp. And you didn't want to give a judge a mouthful of fat, so that's why I trim it a little bit more than what you would probably do. But see this right here, that whole edge right there. Look at that big old chunk of fat. See, that's not even with your meat. See, we want to trim it all down, make this thing aerodynamic. And also, when you're doing this, make sure you got a good knife. You need a good sharp knife to do this, to get through this fat. If you don't have a good sharp knife, it's a pain in the butt. At comps, there was this guy that always used his pocket knife. And he did a pretty good job of trimming them with his pocket knife too. So you don't have to have a huge knife to do it. So I'm starting to make that all even now. See, like that corner I just cut off, you'd probably left that, being a home cook. And if you cut too much of your fat off, you're going to have a very lean, dry brisket. That's why I say you want to leave at least a 1/4 inch of fat on your fat side, because you're going to need a little bit of fat, the good fat that'll cook in here. You want it to keep your brisket moist. So don't trim it all off. I'm just trimming it down, making it a 1/4 inch here. In places that stuff about a 1/2 inch thick. Alright, looks like we're about done with this thing. I want Matt to bring the camera over here because I want to show you something here. Alright, see how I got my knife? That's how the grains are going. And when you cut this, when it's done, you want to cut the way my knife's going now. You want to cut across it, not with it. So easy way to do is cut, you'll slice off now the way you want to cut it. So when it's done, you'll know how to cut it because you won't see the grain. You see how I'm putting my knife? That's how, if you can see, that's how the grain goes. But when you cut it, you want to cut it the way I got my knife now. You want to cut against it, not with it. That makes it a whole lot tenderer to eat. So what you do, you make a cut across the way you want to cut it. And when it's cooked, then you know how to slice it across there like that. Alright, give us a thumbs up. It helps get our videos out there and get them seen. So give us a thumbs up, please. We thank you for it. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up. Hey, thanks for watching. Like us. Subscribe. Comment. Hey guys, here it is cooking. So this is the trim portion of it. Like I said, part 2 will be the seasoning. Part 3 will be the cooking. So make sure you watch all 3 videos and then get you one and cook you one. God bless you. Thank you for watching turning to my page. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up. God bless you.